Ladies and gentlemen, as a member school of the Ohio High School Band Association, Cleveland Heights High School welcomes you to this interscholastic contest between the Strongsville Mustangs and the Cleveland Heights Tigers. Tonight's game is sponsored by the Ohio High School Band Association. Your attendance and support of the student athletes and coaches is appreciated by member schools competing tonight. Both teams are rivals. They are expected to exhibit the qualities of sportsmanship throughout the contest. The administration of both schools request the same for all players. Athletes, coaches, and officials are guests of Cleveland Heights High School. All fans are asked to respect the efforts each of them put forth in preparing for tonight's contest. We ask all attending to show courtesy and respect for your fellow fans, officials, coaches, as well as administering the contest, and of course, your team and your opponent. As important today as ever, please remember to respect the game. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Mic check. Microphone check. Strongsville, can you hear me? Oh yeah. Welcome to Cleveland Heights, Strongsville. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm Cleveland Heights welcome to the Strongsville Mustangs.
Yeah, I thought about it. I mean, it would be fine. It's not fun. It's like, I was literally on my way here because I felt tricky. And I was like, well, it's just going to be me and them.
It's time to meet and greet your Cleveland Tiger Nation, welcome home.
Welcome in on the CHUH Schools YouTube channel. Jake Volnick alongside Matthew Walker. Matt, a great matchup coming on. Kickoff getting ready to go right now between the Cleveland Heights Tigers and the Strongsville Mustangs. Last week was a game against Menor that had everybody on the edge of their seat. Goes to overtime. Menor scores on the very first play of overtime, kicks the extra point as our kickoffs here and away. And this game is underway, returning to the point as Cleveland Heights will start their drive on their 35. Menor takes the extra point. It comes down to the side, college-style overtime if you're not aware. Each team gets a chance at the end zone on a shortened field. The Tigers go down, get put into a fourth down scenario. Marquise Davis is able to pick that up. And then near the goal line, 2-yard line, everybody thinks the run's going directly up the middle. And that's where it goes. Marquise Davis takes it away straight into the end zone. And you set up for the 2-point conversion, putting the game entirely on the line right then and there, no matter what. And it's the most unexpected play possible. A screen off to the right, Amir Atkins finds the front pylon, and Cleveland Heights goes to 4-1 and walks the game off.
And you have to think they're thinking about that coming into this game. You know, a hype win last week, and they're just bringing that momentum into this week right here.
Without a doubt, exactly. I mean, how do you not? You have to be riding high. I mean, if you're anybody on this team, especially the likes of Amar Lakes, Marquise Davis, Amir Atkins, your confidence is beyond what you could even imagine is the first run, about a 4-yard gain up the middle. Another handoff goes directly up the middle, taken back, optioned out to the outside and breaking out to the outside, getting a good block in front before finally tripped up and taken down. John Gordon Jr. finds a little space, flips the field, and gets all the way down to the Strongsville 30-yard line.
That's a great look early on. You had to know this Mustangs defense was looking for that run up the middle, and they all converge on that run in the middle, and they get that pitch out to the outside, and John Gordon gets away for a 35, 40-yard run early on.
A great run from John Gordon Jr. See him motion again. It'll go around the edge. Marquise Davis, nothing but space up the middle, avoids the referee, walks into the end zone, and how's that to start a football game? Marquise Davis, first 6 to put Heights up early.
That's just a great run on there. You can hear Tiger Nation behind me right now just getting hyped. That was a greatly designed play. He had so much room. The hole was big. The blocking looked great. He went untouched there, and you have to think you're going to see a lot of that today. A lot of power runs from Marquise Davis. A lot of focus on the running game. It's great to see him get this going early on.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, if you've been missing Cleveland Heights games all year, strap yourself in, because Marquise Davis will have himself a day just about any time he walks out. Felt like a slow day for him last week. Still ends up with well over 100 yards, and we've already seen him go for 333 yards a couple weeks ago against Brunswick, and the extra point goes through, making the game 7-0 now.
I mean, that coming out and running like three play drive, driving 60 yards for a touchdown. That's such a great feeling to start a game off that way. You almost feel like invincible going into that next offensive drive. They're feeling really good right now, and like you said, like he's been doing this all season long. It's nothing new. He's had a 330-yard game. He's been running 25 plus touches a game. They're so productive. They've been averaging. This Cleveland Heights team has been averaging 7 yards per carry on the season. They just have such a great run game.
And talk about the two-headed duo, him and John Gordon Jr. You see it right there on that drive. John Gordon Jr. breaks off the first large run, and then Marquise Davis takes it away on the second. I mean, that's indicative of this entire team.
Right, you're so focused on one and the other right there for a great run.
65-yard drive that takes just 3 plays that puts Cleveland Heights up 7-0 and only takes 4 minutes off the clock as the kickoff will go through the back of the end zone, and we'll get a chance to see Strongsville offense for the first time today.
Now this Cleveland Heights defense did look good last week, right? Holding Menard to just 13 points, including that overtime touchdown. We'll see how they look today.
Yeah, and talk about it. It's been a defense that's gone really well the last 2 weeks. You go back to that Brunswick game, and it was 13-10. And I apologize, my stat earlier, 333 yards came against Hudson, but this team just flipped around completely. I mean, we're talking 40 points, 30 points per game. Is the first pass going to go to the outside? And they'll mark that as a catch. We'll just get about 5 yards. Coming in and making the grab that time is going to be Michael Marrero.
Yeah, good play right there. A little slant, get the passing game going early with the little slant route. We'll see where they come out here on second and about 7.
And should be mentioned, quarterback in the game right now is Harsh Patel. Patel not the initial starter. That would have been Nolan Beard, but Beard has been unable to return since suffering an injury earlier on in the season. So it's been mostly Patel as the run goes up the middle, and absolutely nowhere to go with that one. Heights defensive line getting in early, shutting that down, and a massive tackle being made. I mean, he got stood up at the line right there.
Yeah, this Mustangs offense coming into today with a very run-heavy offense. I'm curious to see what they do here on 3rd and 6.
You got to think. Got to let Patel start to throw the ball, even though it's early. Heights defense going to be tested on the first set of downs. Patel drops back, looks middle of the field, falling down, and it's picked off by John Gordon Jr. Flag goes out.
Yeah, a little bit of a late flag there. It looks like there was some contact on 19 Austin Miller. We'll see what they call here. Austin Miller does appear to be limping off as well.
We'll take the call. Miller goes down on that play.
The Mustangs offense.
And it looks like they're just going to rule that the interception. That might have just been a marker for the turnover. As we're not going to get a call, you'll roll Heights offense right on. That's where the ball was taken away. And just like that, you were off the field, and now you're right back on it if you're this Cleveland Heights High offense. And Marquise Davis, you don't get much of a break at all, but you probably like to flip back onto this side of the field.
Exactly. I mean, it's a short field too, 41-yard line of the Mustangs.
Play here, run to the outside. John Gordon Jr. breaking loose. He had the interception, and he finds the sideline, cut back, and he's eventually taken down, but not until he gets all the way up to the 16-yard line. And coming in and making the tackle is going to be Elias Pettit.
What a great start for John Gordon here. Takes the run outside, breaks a tackle early on, finds that outside space. You had a couple good blocks ahead of you, and you get a run for about 30 yards here. I mean, he's just on a tear. He had a 35-yard run earlier, he gets a pick. Next play, run backs on the field and gets a 35-yard run.
And both of those coming to the outside, just being able to show off the wheels, whereas Marquise Davis found success on the inside. Amar Lakes now dropping back, throws corner of the end zone. That one just a bit too far, wasn't able to make the connection. It was intended for wide receiver Jeff Ward.
I like that look. You know, you got Jeff Ward, a big body on the outside, kind of just throwing up a lob pass to him. I like that look for, you know, just kind of, it's like a momentum move, right? You got everything going for you. Let's see if we can get a touchdown pass here to keep it going.
Yeah, Ward just a sophomore, but does stand at 6'4", 180, so if you're going to throw a 50-50 ball up to anybody on this team, probably not a bad option. Now handoff outside, Marquise Davis finds the edge, cuts back, gets a block from Ward, and walks into the end zone, nearly untouched. Marquise Davis, how about that? Not even 8 minutes off the clock, and we're looking at 2 touchdowns and now a 13-0 lead for the Cleveland Heights High Tigers.
Yeah, that's such a great run there. Textbook, he finds the hole, breaks a couple tackles. You can see him right here, breaks inside. There's no stop. Once he gets up, like going uphill like that with that speed and that agility, there's just no bringing him down.
Not an easy guy to get down in the slightest ever, but especially when he gets out into space like that, you're going to need 1 to 2 extra guys to take him down as the extra point goes through on that one. So that'll make it 14-0. Again, still 8:53 here remaining in the first quarter, and the Tigers are out to an early lead, helped by a turnover over the middle of the field. And you like to hand the early player of the game honors off. Obviously way too early to be handing anything away, right. But you have to take your choice right now between John Gordon Jr. and Marquise Davis. Davis has both touchdowns, but John Gordon Jr. doing everything on the ground just about, and comes away with the interception.
Yeah, he's been, I lean towards John Gordon right now personally, just because of that interception on the defensive side. But I mean, they've just been deadly so far with that 1-2 combo. It really hasn't felt like they've been stopped in any play. Maybe that there was like a 3-yard run to start the game, but outside of that on offense, they've had, 30-yard run after 30-yard run and touchdowns everywhere. So it's been really fun to watch so far. We'll see how this Mustangs offense responds here. They did have a couple plays last drive that saw some promise. We'll see how they do here.
Jay McKay lines up, sets up for the kickoff, and it's off and away. High end-over-end kick that'll find its way into the end zone and go for a touchback. So once again, just your average start, going from the 25-yard line from Strongsville. We are in for quite the game if we're sticking on this pace. The offensive firepower coming out from Cleveland Heights is honestly almost, I don't want to call it tough to watch because it's exciting. We're watching it, but you mentioned it. We've had 1 3-yard run and an incomplete pass that was a 50-50 ball into the end zone. One of the few passes you'll see Cleveland Heights run on their offense. Just 7 attempts from Amar Lakes last week in an overtime win.
Right, I mean, there's just so much time left in this game still. This game could go in any direction.
Run goes to the outside and then swung down. Xavier Belvin. Belvin going to be your main workhorse in the Strongsville offense. He's basically doing everything right now since Patel had to come in for Beard earlier on in the season. Belvin going to handle most of the workload, not just in the run game, but you'll also see him get out into the pass as well.
Right, and you saw he had a little bit of room out there, but that that Cleveland Heights defense was all over him once he got outside of that tackle.
See, fake handoff to Belvin. They look down the sideline, have a man open, but Patel leaves him just a little bit long. That's Jeremy Knopf, the intended receiver. Play falls to the turf, and 2 plays, and you're set up for another 3rd and long if you're Strongsville, where you're going to have to drop back and throw another football.
Right, it is good to see them get aggressive early on here with that long pass attempt to Knopf. But you had to think you needed a first down. You just need something to start getting the chains going. Just start to see a little bit of faith moving into. We're only 4 minutes into this game. We just need a little bit of something going down 14-0.
Patel looks middle of the field. That one broken up and nearly picked off. Amir Atkins over the middle, able to shut that play down. And 3 plays bring out the punt unit for the Mustangs. A slow start offensively, and they were getting no breathing room on the other side of the ball.
Now, this Cleveland Heights defense has been all over the place. We have John Gordon back here. Every time this guy touches the ball, it seems like something's going to happen.
Line drive punt. He'll have a chance at a return as he crosses the 51 cut, and then he's wrapped up and taken down on the play right around, again, the 45. So short field once again. If you're the Tigers and you don't think you go away from your game plan, probably look to John Gordon Jr., Marquise Davis. Pick your poison in that case.
Yeah, just keep doing exactly what you're doing. Everything, they're shooting on all horizons right now. So there should be no doubt in your mind. Just stick to that same script. They came out with a good script, and just keep riding it.
Howie McLean was in on the tackle for Strongsville on that kickoff. Interesting formation coming out right now from Cleveland Heights. A strong set to the right. 3 players set up behind the offensive line, and John Gordon Jr. in the backfield as a flag comes out from the far sideline, and referee in the
dead ball. False start. Offense. 5 yards.
5 yards, back it up. The first negative play we've seen out of the Tigers.
Right, I'm really curious what they were planning to do here. I kind of hope they keep the same format out here with this Wildcat with John Gordon Jr. in the backfield.
You see Gordon Jr. jog off the sideline, has a conversation with coach, and makes his way back out. Same formation, snap back, not going to go to the strong side. Weak side, John Gordon Jr. finds some room. He powers his way back to the original line of scrimmage at the 45, marks a 5-yard gain, and the Tigers will have 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it's a good look to cut back. There wasn't really much on that strong side. He did find a little hole up the middle. He's just so shifty. He's looking one way. The next thing you know, he's cutting back left and already 3 yards up the field.
Look, Cleveland Heights, a team like many high schools, take their calls from the sideline from coach. But you see it right there, 5, 6, 7 Tigers out right at the sideline as they get their play call. Line up now, motion Marquise Davis into the backfield. He bounces outside, slips a tackle, and now he's past the line of scrimmage, finding the outside all the way up to the 30-yard line before he's ran out of bounds. But keep your eyes open, flag being thrown in the backfield out near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's a really interesting play. They have a lot of motion in their offense pre-snap. He was actually lined up as a tight end there, and it was motion back.
Offense.
See what the
10-yard
call is
penalty.
here.
Second
That
down.
play's going to come back. We'll get a hold at the line of scrimmage. So what were 2 quick drives for Cleveland Heights, now not looking as clean. Penalties twice right here on this set of downs to start their 3rd drive, and they're backed up now to a 2nd and 20.
And it seems like that is the only way to stop this offense right now, is them just beating themselves. Hopefully they can figure something out here and get over these penalties and beating themselves.
Lakes drops back, looks long, sideline, has Davis open, caught at the 30, wrapped up and taken out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Tackle made by Elias Pettit, but how's that? Marquise Davis obviously know what he does on the ground, but gets out wide, gets some space, and makes the grab.
Yeah, what can't he do? Look at this route run, this little wheel route, gets behind the defender, finds a little emptiness in the zone. Lakes makes a good pass, and Marquise Davis is right there to make the play.
Great throw from Lakes there. Put it up over the defender on Davis, and the safety coming out down over the top. He has to slip it in, and is able to do so as Lakes keeps this one, and he's wrapped up before the line of scrimmage. Give him about a loss of 1 as he's taken down at the 31. Not the most generous spot coming out on that last play, by the way, for Marquise Davis. Looked like he had an extra yard or 2 on that, but they'd mark him down at the 30.
Right, I just want to go back to that pass one more time real quick. I just want to credit Lakes with that, finding the opening in the zone. Obviously, it wasn't his first read, Marquise Davis, but he was really able to find an opening.
Ball on the ground, out near the 40, scooped back up. Marquise Davis able to take it, but he's taken down for a big loss, and another long down that this offense will have. You saw him go to the pass last time. You don't have much of a choice here, as it's going to be 3rd and about 19.
Right, we'll see what they do here. You do have to think pass here. I'm not sure how much, what like their field goal range is, but you do have to expect pass here.
This would be quite the attempt coming out if you had it. It'd be about 57 yards. I'm no expert, but I don't know too many high schoolers nailing that one. Blake's back in the shotgun. Play action. Pressure comes. He's able to slip the first tackler. Works to the outside. Not going to get away from the second, though. Wrapped up and taken down. Storm Miller comes up with the sack right at midfield. In negative plays on negative plays for the Tigers, they'll have to run out the punt unit. No other choice. They're set up for about a 4th and 30.
Right. And, you know, honestly, looking back at that drive, it's not that they weren't able to get anything going. You look back and you do see a couple of, a lot of positive yards on a couple plays. It's just that they really hurt themselves with a couple penalties. They had a little muffed snap and a couple losses. But overall, like you can't be too upset with the positive plays on that drive.
McKay's punt high and away, off to the right hash, breaking up the middle, slipping a couple of tackles. Able to get down to about the 32 before being wrapped up and taken down. J.J. Pleasant in on that one, and best field position, not just to start a drive, but all day for the Mustangs coming up on this drive.
Right, we'll see if they can finally settle in their offense. They did seem a little disgruntled on those first 2 drives. We'll see if they start on the right hash mark here. We'll see if they can get anything going.
An interesting set on that special teams play. 2 punt returners back for the Mustangs, and worked out for him that time. Patel drops back. Cleveland Heights brings pressure. Nice little comeback route. Not going to have any extra room along the outside. Wrapping him up at the waist and coming up with the tackle is going to be Henry Perriman. That play basically going nowhere, just getting you a couple of yards. A lot of extra running around on that one for a 2, maybe 3-yard gain.
Right, it was a good route. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they got a very good like ball placement on that with only a 2-yard gain, but it's good to see the pass game get going.
Patel, 4-man rush, gets there early. This one will get past the sticks. John Gordon Jr. make the hit and push him out of bounds. Amir Atkins finally ran out, but good play coming out there. First down picked up for the first time in this game. Past 11 minutes in.
Yeah, first down. This pass game is getting going. We were expecting a lot of like run-heavy offense from the Mustangs, but they have come out here, and that's 2 straight passes, 2 straight completions too.
Another handoff to the right side and driven into the ground. Xavier Belvin. Nothing to do there. Yeah, just lick your chops and come back.
That is a huge hit right there. Just making a statement like, hey, this inside of this offensive line, like this is our spot. We're gonna stop you here. We're gonna force you to go outside.
Belvin probably wishing right about now that he had bounced that one outside with the brick wall that he was met with, but he'll go down for about a 2-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 12. Again, 3 minutes remaining. Tigers up 14-0 to start this game. So early runs came out from John Gordon Jr. and Marquise Davis. Set things up. Penalty markers fly, and the Mustangs negating their positive yards. Got a little frisky.
Dead ball. False start.
False start.
Offense.
Yeah, that's not what you like to see.
5-yard penalty.
First down, you kind of
Second down.
going a little bit, and then we're just gonna move right back. And it's already 2nd down too. It's about 2nd down and about 16.
That's not what you want to see. An offense that's been struggling to get going, but that's what this Cleveland Heights defense does. They suck the air out of offenses. Patel back with Belvin on his hip. Looks to the right side, nothing doing there. Great coverage from Perryman, had no separation on the outside. And that ball sails over the head of the intended wide receiver, and it'll be 3rd and long coming up.
Yeah, Cleveland Heights, it feels like they can just blitz every play. They've got that man coverage on the outside that just has not given up any yards so far. And so they just feel like they can blitz with those linebackers, put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and they don't really have to worry about any passes over the top because those cornerbacks are playing so well on those wide receivers.
You're going to need some help out of your offensive line, allow some plays to develop a little bit longer. Appeared to be Knopf, the intended receiver on the last play. Now 3rd, call it 15. Patel pressured, throws to the outside. And what do you know, more great coverage coming out from a Heights corner. That time, going to be deflected and shot to the ground. And another punt coming up for Strongsville.
Yeah, just like you said with that pressure from the Cleveland Heights defensive line. I mean, it seemed like there was a second and a half into that play before you saw 2 black and yellow jerseys rushing straight to the quarterback. It was a rush pass. He just did not have any time for that play to develop.
Punts up, away, high, and it'll bounce in front of Gordon Jr. He'll take it on the hop, get past the first defender, and work his way up to the 40, and then he's eventually ran out right along that yard marker.
Yeah, good return there, about 15 yards. It seems like every time John Gordon Jr. touches the ball, he's just electric with that speed and the shiftiness. He always finds a way to get some yards, make a couple of defenders miss tackles.
Here it'll be Strongsville defense. What do you have? Mustangs have to find a way to at least slow down the run. At the very least, they shouldn't be tired out there. They haven't spent too much time on the field just because Heights has been making it such quick drives. But at this point, you have to give your offense some time to regroup, think about a new plan of attack. You have to find a way to at least bring up some 3rd down, slow this offense down, and hopefully get a stop and put yourself back into this game at some point.
Right. We'll see if the Mustangs defense comes out here and has any adjusted game plans. You had to think they were going to be trying to stop the run from the beginning. You have to be okay with that, with letting Cleveland Heights pass at this point and just focusing on this run game.
We talked about the pre-snap motion earlier on. This is just a team who makes it so difficult to do anything.
Looks like a timeout from Cleveland Heights here.
And then it will be. Ball was initially getting marked back about 5 yards. Thought it was going to be a false start, but bring back to the initial line of scrimmage, and it will be a Cleveland Heights timeout. Clearly, head coach Max Stevens saw something he didn't like there, and rightfully so. The ref was going to maybe see something he didn't like either and throw some laundry as that one came out of his pocket. They get the timeout, and it'll keep it 1st and 10 to start the drive.
Yeah, they had that same lineup again where they had those, it seemed like 3 tight ends close in on the right side, outside of that right tackle. Looking for, I mean, it's on the left hash. It seemed like they could have a lot of room on the right if they get some good blocks out there.
And you see it again, just lining up behind the offensive lineman.
It looks like they got 4 extra guys over there.
2 wide receivers at the top of the screen. Maybe Gordon Jr. in the backfield. End around, pitch out to Perriman. Perriman finds the outside, and he has space. Green up ahead. He's up to the 40, 30, and then he's pushed out of bounds by Elias Pettit all the way up near the 23-yard line of Strongsville. Talking about how they need to get a quick stop. Letting John Gordon Jr. find the outside was not the way to do it, as it's another massive gain coming out from number 0.
Exactly, and I love that play call with on that left hash mark. You just have so much room on the right, especially no wide receivers out there. So there's no cornerback, no safety, and you just, as long as you can get around that outside defensive end, there's just so much room out there. And just like you said, they found it, and that results in about a 40-yard gain.
Now Davis in the backfield, good block down the outside. He has space up ahead, walks his way into the end zone. You love to get excited A flag out towards the middle of the field. This one might just be coming back and steal Marquise Davis of his 3rd touchdown.
Right, and it's hard to say because, you know, it feels like that would not have affected the play, whatever this call is, but it does look like it's coming back.
Offense is
Holding.
right in. It will be a hold.
Offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
We'll have another first down as Davis almost had his 3rd touchdown of the first quarter. But it wouldn't get called back, and it'll be walking it all the way back now into a 1st and 20 from about the 38-yard line of the Mustangs.
You just love how this offense is looking right now. I mean, if there was high school fantasy football, you'd love to have Marquise Davis on your team with already 2 touchdowns.
Him and John Gordon Jr. Davis again outside, able to get past the first, but Mustangs are there, and he nearly slipped away, but is eventually ran out of bounds in the backfield. About the 30, call it 8, 2nd down, and very long now set up for the Tigers.
That's the first time we saw the Mustangs break through that offensive line. It seems like the Tigers did kind of own the line this game so far, but we did see a couple Mustangs break through and get to Davis behind the line of scrimmage.
It was great. Really the first time you see him set the edge in this game. Typical formation. Option, right side. John Gordon Jr. having to make a couple of moves, and he's stuck with nowhere to go out beyond the 40-yard line. Back-to-back negative plays following the penalty, and that sets up 3rd and extremely long for this Tigers offense.
Right, I'm not sure if you even go for it at this point. I think maybe go for some yards, maybe go for a long pass. I don't know. What do you think here? You think they just gain some yards and maybe get in field goal position, or you think they just go for the first down?
I wouldn't be so surprised to see this team get just a little bit creative on this play. You're going to see 3 receivers at the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom, not the typical look that they run. But don't be surprised if this is something short into the backfield trying to let a playmaker make a move. Snap to Lakes. Davis out on the outside. It's a screen. Blockers out ahead. And he has room and is eventually tripped up, brought down by the shoestrings at the 30. And that might have been a drive-saving tackle coming out for the Mustangs. Tackle made by Storm Miller.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think if he doesn't grab his ankle there and make that tackle, like, you have to think Marquise Davis is gone there. It looks like the way he's been running so far, once he gets into that open field, it's just so tough to bring him down with how shifty he is, how quick he is. Like you said, that could have been a drive-saving tackle right there.
Thought it might have been, but not quite yet. 4th down, offense stays on the field in that sort of awkward in-between field goal position and just go for it. They'll elect to run it. Mar Lakes breaking out on the right side, throwing on the run, back corner of the end zone, up over the head of Amir Atkins. Gave it a leaping try, but unable to bring it down. Amar Lakes in the backfield took a hit from Storm Miller. He's a little slow to get up, but up to his feet. Jogs his way off the sideline as the Tigers turn it over on downs. And a crucial first stop coming up for the Mustangs defense.
Right, you needed that as a Mustangs. Like you're walking back to the sideline, and you're happy that you finally got a stop. You are back on your own, about 29, but it is just good to know you get a stop. You kind of settled in, made some good defensive plays. We saw some good high fives out there. It was good to see him do that. A couple slaps on the helmet, like they're getting hyped up a little bit there on defense.
Patel throws to the outside, but that one's dropped. Hit his receiver right where he needed to, Alex Espay. But Espay unable to come up with it. And what should have gone down as positive yards is going to go for an incompletion. As we reach the end of the first quarter, Cleveland Heights High Tigers lead the Strongsville Mustangs 14-0, but not just quite what we saw out of the beginning. You saw a real dominance in those first couple of drives coming out from Cleveland Heights, where now it's back-to-back drives where the Mustangs defense is able to force something negative for the Tigers. You force a punt and a turnover on downs. Now you just need to see something out of the Mustang offense to get a little bit of momentum going. You talked about it, slaps on the helmets, high fives all around, a little bit of confidence building for the Strongsville team. You just need it to translate to the other side of the ball.
Right, exactly. Yeah, just like you said, they're starting to make those plays on defense, which early on, you were a little scared that was never going to happen. And when they were definitely feeling down after those first 2 drives. So just see them come out and still, change that momentum a little bit, change the story a little bit on the defensive side. It's good to see from the Mustangs. And if you are Cleveland Heights, you are still having those explosive plays. Just a couple penalties here and there have kind of ended those drives that could have been some more touchdowns.
Second quarter ready to begin. Again, Tigers lead 14-0. Patel takes the snap, drops back, looks to the outside. Catch is made and tackle slip up to the 40 and driven out of bounds. In on the catch appears to be Will Dasher.
That pass was complete to number.
That'll move the chains. Strongsville has positive momentum to start their drive here at the beginning of the second.
Yeah, these quick, like 6-7 yard passes. They've been hitting them so far, but it's just they haven't had one kind of breakaway for extra yardage, which you get that right here. You have to be feeling good if you're the Mustangs offense right now.
Yeah, for Patel, you just got to get a little bit of confidence building. Those short, quick routes, able to get a couple of completions under his belt. Again, the backup quarterback throw is high and nearly picked off by Henry Perryman. Had a takeaway last week and nearly had himself another. That ball left up in the air and Perryman nearly high-pointed it.
Well, Perryman, that was almost a one-handed grab. On the left hand, that was above the receiver too. That was almost fantastic. Oh, almost had it. He had so much room ahead of him too. He wants that one back.
Nothing but open space. Would have been surely a pick 6 if he wasn't caught from behind. Lucky for Strongsville, it's just 2nd and 10. Patel, hand off to the outside. Belvin finds a little bit of room. He's up to the 50. Dragged down right about the 49. But grasping onto his back was a combination of John Gordon Jr. and Marquise Davis. Two-headed backfield and two-headed defensive unit to take down Belvin.
Right, yeah, like we said early on, we were expecting a run-heavy offense from the Mustangs. We just haven't seen that so far. They had a good, fake run with the quarterback there, got Belvin in some extra room. 3rd and short here. What do you think?
Just 1 yard to go. Belvin had a good run, but the box is stacked for Cleveland Heights. Belvin flipped the side of the play, now on the right hip of Patel. He'll roll out. Patel rolling to his right as well. Ball's thrown way off to the outside. Nobody in the vicinity. Belvin about 5 yards short. Dasher about 10 yards out ahead. And that was just a broken down play from the beginning. Nobody seemed to be on the same page. And near midfield, 1 yard to go, Strongsville's going to let to punt.
You can just feel that the Mustangs feel a little rattled with how well that Tigers defensive line has played so far. 3rd and short, you fully expect some type of run, but they elect to pass there. It looked like they even had a play change from the coach there at the last second. It feels like they feel like they have to rely on their pass game right now.
John Gordon Jr. takes the punt outside past midfield up to the 40. Blows through the kicker and knocked out of bounds and taken down, but not before a massive return comes out for Cleveland Heights that would set them up all the way near the 35 of Strongsville. There is a flag in the backfield all the way back by where the ball was initially received.
Yeah, this would be the second time that one of these would be brought back.
Block in the back. Receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot. First down.
I'm curious how many yards that they have lost on these penalties. It seems like the past 3 or 4 explosive plays have been brought back. It seems like it's 20-plus yards each time too.
Yeah, that one's going to cost you a little bit more than 20. All the way out near the 35 of the Mustangs is where you would have started that drive without a penalty, but the block in the back comes in right where the catch was made, and now you'll be starting your drive from just outside of your own 10-yard line.
Yeah, that's such a shift in your mindset right there. You feel like you're already automatically in scoring position after that kick, after that punt return. Now you're all the way back in your 10-yard line.
A long drive now to be set up. Have to go just under 90 yards if you want to find the end zone. Handoff goes up the middle, a little bit of space found, then wrapped up and taken down. On the run that time was Kai Webb. Webb able to push his way forward for about a 9-yard gain instead of 2nd and short for Cleveland Heights.
Right, there's that run game again. It doesn't seem like it doesn't matter who you get the ball at this point. They're always going to find some yards.
Offensive line surely get their credit as well. Talk so much about the backfield, but these guys do their job. Amar Lakes stunted in the backfield. Couple of moves, and then he starts to find the outside. Still going to be taken down for a loss. But all things considered, that could have gone a whole lot worse.
And Amar Lakes is shifty back there in that pocket. Don't you think? It's so hard to bring him down once he's back there. If you get any sort of pressure, you break through that offensive line. It seems like he's so quick to get outside the pocket.
You don't want to think run first as a quarterback, but as a secondary option, Amar Lake's not a bad guy to have, putting the ball down and using his legs. James Russell Swayze was the one who was able to track him down and take him down for the loss. Lake's a bit of a spin move, pitches it back, but not much doing there, is dragged to the ground right before the first down marker. It appears it's just going to be a tad bit short. And Cleveland Heights okay playing the field position battle, at least as it seems now, as Gabe McKay, their punter, roll onto the field.
Right, that was another good play with that in motion from the outside. I can't really tell if that was a designed spin move or not. I kind of liked it though. I can't tell if he was planning to keep it or not.
Yeah, not sure if that one was supposed to be designed, but he ran with it in motion. It was fluent. He looked like he knew what he was doing. Punt by McKay just gets away. Deep all the way back to the 40, initially muffed, but finding the outside and making a move, cutting back in towards the center, and absolutely dropped. Brandon Caesar, there's a reason you got offers to Ohio State, Tennessee, and some other D1 programs, because, wow, that was a man's hit.
He came in quick. I mean, you could hear Tiger Nation here. 90.
Wow. I mean, stood up at the point of attack. That was like double damage coming out. Initially going in and making the hit was Albert Green Jr. That studded him, and then coming in from behind and laying a lick, Brandon Caesar.
Yeah, he did not hold up on that one. He was setting a statement there.
After the big hit, just past their own 45, taking a shot deep along the outside and led just a little bit too far. Jeremy Knopf had created a little separation on Perryman, but Patel unable to put it into the breadbasket, and it falls incomplete. An early shot on this drive that does not pan out.
Right, yeah, right back to the pass game. And it seems like they are just like one step a little bit off of these passes. It feels like one of these is going to connect. It feels like they have a chance every time. It's just like a little bit outside, a little bit inside, a little bit like one step short every time.
Patel just has to find that little bit of an adjustment. Strongsville would be well into this game. They'll go short, screen out to the right, blocker out in front. Atkins unable to wrap him up. Now up to the 30, being chased down, tackled not all the way up until the 20. In a big gain coming out, Alex Espay on the grab and run. A big play for Strongsville and has them well into Tiger territory.
Yeah, here the Mustangs come. That's a big play for them. Finally breaking off for a big play here. As you can see, he broke a tackle here. We got a couple extra yards after contact. And now they're inside the 20-yard line.
Found a little separation. Perriman was able to eventually drag him down. We're talking red zone now for Strongsville. Patel rolling out, throwing right. Too far out in front, unable to connect with his receiver, Marrero, on the play. Sets up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Patel looks a lot more comfortable back there. It seems like, they're getting him into a rhythm. They got some good completions, some good yards, and now it looks like they're comfortable in this passing game.
Seems to have a little bit more fluidness out towards that right side. Looked like a good rollout that time, just not able to hit the receiver. And you saw it on the play prior, just a quick little screen, get it out, and get the ball into your playmaker's hands, and it worked. Now is the short field shortens. Patel throws out, tipped, unable to be brought down, falls to the turf, but swatted at the line, nearly ended the first red zone opportunity for Strongsville. They'll let out a sigh of relief as that one falls to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Huge sigh of relief there, especially on your first good drive of the game. That just kind of reminds you why they are doing these quick passes. They can't really hold off this Cleveland Heights defensive line right now. It feels like they have to get the ball out of Patel's hands early. That one, though, was almost really bad news for them.
Great job that time by Rodney Harris. Patel now looking short right, swatted down again, and who other? Rodney Harris again. We're talking about guys playing two ways. That's a guy on the defensive line that's also your starting left tackle. But he's getting it done on defensive end more than anything right now. Not even letting Patel, we talked about him being comfortable. These throws aren't uncomfortable throws. It's just Harris perfectly timing them, launching off of his feet, doing a great job to knock down a couple of balls and set up a 4th and 10 in the red zone. No kick unit coming out. Mustangs want to end this drive in 6. Patel alone in the backfield. Looks left side, end zone shot, 50-50 ball. Somebody came down with it, and it's an interception in the end zone. Wow. How about that one? That's going to be none other than Henry Perriman. Talked about him last week coming up with a pick. Now, on a ball that could have gone for 6 the other way, he takes it and keeps Strongsville off the scoreboard.
The 50-50 ball here, and Perriman's able to come down with it. He just had strong hands right there. I mean, he's a wide receiver too. So I mean, you're on those 50-50 balls. You love to see him back there because he's not even acting like a cornerback at that point. He's like, oh, this is me. I'm a wide receiver too. One-on-one. This is why I'm here. I'm here to pick these off. And he's the one that almost had that one-handed pick earlier. So you know he's feeling good right now.
And not the guy you initially think of when you think high pointing a ball and strong hands, 5'10", 150, but doesn't matter here. First run attempt coming out on this drive, going to be shut down well into the backfield. Mar Lake's nothing doing. He's shut down for a 2-yard loss. And all of a sudden, as this game started hot on offense, now the defenses are the ones coming up big.
Yeah, exactly like you said. I mean, early out of the gates, we were like 4 minutes into the game. Tigers had 2 touchdowns. We were kind of expecting that, a lot of that, to keep going, and it has not gone that way.
Run up the middle. Again, just not a whole lot there. Quickly met by Strongsville. A very fast attack onto the ball. Comes up big, and that'll shut him down early. That was Keontae Turner on the carry. Now set up for 3rd and 8. Mar Lake's under center. Forward in motion out of the backfield. End around, had success earlier on this play. Good block out front, gets him to the outside and past the first down marker. Looked like it was Marquise Davis out there to lay the wood. You know, you can go and you can get it done yourself, but there's a selfless teammate able to lay a block as well and keep this drive rolling and rolling for Cleveland Heights.
Yeah, you love to see that. And I might sound like a broken record here, but when they run those plays from the opposite hash, outside of the other hash, there's just so much room for their playmakers out in the open field.
Another run up the middle, followed about a gain of 2, and then shut down. Appeared to be Turner once again on the run. Indeed it was. You talk about it. I mean, that's, again, the blocking on the outside. Give your props to your offensive linemen and guys pulling out in front. Blocks are being made not only at the point of attack, but downfield as well to set things up. Run left side, plenty of room. Nobody going to catch Marquise Davis. 10-5 touchdown. Wow.
Wow, there was just so much misdirection in that backfield with 3 guys back there. And Marquise Davis, man, he just hit that hole and there was no catching him. He has that breakaway speed. Wow.
I mean, that's a play. You see Davis on the screen. There's no defenders getting closer to him. Simply distance being made up by Davis. One of the fastest and largest players you'll probably see in all of high school this year in the state of Ohio. And he shows why he has the offers that he does. A massive run. Exactly. Over 50 yards all the way into the end zone. Sets it up 20-0. McKay back for the extra point. And there's a jump on the line. Appeared to be a false start. Some guys moving at the point of attack, so we'll wait on that. But
yeah, just like you were saying, like the athleticism. It seems like he gets, like we're talking about that speed that he gets up to. It seems like he gets up there right away. Like right as he touches the ball, he's almost automatically at that top speed. and it's pretty rare to see that type of athleticism.
Following the false start, now set up about a 27-yard extra point attempt. Ball is muffed, and that's going nowhere. Hold was unable to be put down by John Gordon Jr. Kick never went up. So Cleveland Heights will be happy with their 20-0 lead following the massive run by Marquise Davis. But returning to your point, when I get running, it takes me some time to get to top speed. I'm not your peak athleticism. I'm no Marquise Davis sitting up here in the booth. But it takes me a few seconds to at least get to the speed I want to. As soon as his legs start moving, he's at top speed. It's immediate. And talk about top speed, he'd blow me out of the water in that category too.
Right, if you put us two up against him in a 4-yard dash, you might have to give us, at least a second or two head start. And even then, I wouldn't feel confident in how we do in that.
40-yard dash, you might have to give me 3 seconds. This one's practically over by now. Jay sets up for the kickoff. Again, Cleveland Heights leading 20-0 here with 6:30 remaining in the second quarter. Ground attack working as well as you'll ever see it. Combinations of Marquise Davis, John Gordon Jr. and the offensive line just doing their jobs, as well as a couple of takeaways from the Tigers' defense. McKay's kick back into the end zone. That one drifted off to the left, but does find the end zone. Will go back for a touchback. So Strongsville, once again, going to have to find a way to get something done. Talked about going into this game how they wanted to establish the run. You talk about Xavier Belden. He's really the top player for this team, but the problem you run into right now is that your running back, when you're down 20, a lot harder to stick to that run game and expect things to keep going your way.
No, exactly. I'd love to see him find other ways to get in his hands. Obviously, they want to give him the ball, maybe some screens, get him on the outside, just somewhere to avoid that defensive line.
See, Patel rolls out right. Belvin just blocking out in front, looking deep, nothing there. Patel just going to have to throw it away and be okay taking the second down. Good rollout, good blocks up front, but just blanketed coverage down the field from Cleveland Heights. I mean, there was absolutely no separation. It was Henry Perriman again in coverage on that deep route to the outside that you'll see.
Right, and it was just one-on-one coverage all the way downfield on all three of those receivers. It's just those Tigers were right on him, gave him no room at all for Patel to see. Even he did have a lot of time to read that play also. There just wasn't anyone open.
Alex Espe tried to create separation, but Perriman just stuck to him like glue the whole way down the field. Handoff this time up the middle. Belvin met at the point of attack. Give him a yard, maybe half a yard on the carry. And it sets up another 3rd and long.
Right, and they had a couple drives before this that they were moving down the field. This is obviously a passing down situation. We'll see if what they can do with Patel here at quarterback.
Snap back, Patel, screen out to the left side. A little bit of room and past the first down marker. Stiff arm all the way up to nearly the 45 of the Mustangs. Exact same play that we saw successful for the Mustangs on their last drive comes up big here again in moving the sticks.
Yeah, exactly like you said. That's the, kind of their go-to play right now. Those quick routes, a screen, anything on the outside. Get those wide receivers in some space. It's all after the catch right here. They seem to get some good blocks on the outside from those other wide receivers, helping their teammates out, and they're finding some space here on the outside.
If you're the Mustangs, you're doing something right when John Gordon Jr. gets his name called out for making a tackle. It means you're getting into that second level. Patel, pump fake, nowhere to run. Takes a few steps back, but he's wrapped up and dragged down on the play by none other than Jaquan Stubbs. Stubbs was not fooled. Pump fake came out, and Patel just tried to spin out of it, but Stubbs directly on his back, and a big loss for Strongsville.
Right, he thought he had room on to spin around and go behind him, but he turned around just to find Stubbs right there. Huge loss. That was about a 15-yard loss right there. That's a big sack, and it seems like that is almost a drive stopper.
Handoff up the middle, wrapped up and spun down on the play. Give him about a yard gain. Marquise Davis in on the tackle, but it's going to be a tough spot here for Strongsville to do anything. At this point, you're just looking to put really the Tigers in worse field position by picking up a chunk of yards, because it's going to be tough to get to the Tigers' 47 when you're making your play calls from your own 31.
Right, I would be expecting another one of those quick outside passes. Like, they just tried to make one of those inside runs again, and that Tigers defensive line is just not giving up anything.
Spread set, Patel looks to the outside, takes a one-on-one shot, throw deep over the sideline, had his man unable to come up with it, is Will Dasher, but he had the space and the ball was there from Patel, unable to reel it in.
Wow. I mean, it almost looked like they finally connected on one of those. It was good coverage. Defender was there, but as you can see, deep pass here, right in those hands. Oh, he almost had that one.
Returns now out. Gordon reversing field, going to the near sideline, out past midfield before he's ran out of bounds at the Mustang 47. John Gordon Jr., I call his name on offense, I call his name on defense, special teams. This guy's everywhere on the field.
Honestly, if I'm the Mustangs and I'm punting again, I'm considering punting out of bounds. Like, I just don't want John Gordon in open field, and punting into his hands is exactly how you put him in an open field situation.
I mean, that, or you have to get that punt up way higher than it currently is right now, because he has too much time with no Mustang team members there to meet him as he's getting it. He has 5-10 yards out in front of him, and with that much space, he's certainly going to turn it into more. Junior in motion, hand up the middle. Deontay Turner, another back with his name now being called, out past the first down marker, move the chains, over a 10-yard run for Turner. And pick your poison at this point for Cleveland Heights.
It's so difficult to defend this. Look at this. They got John Gordon on the left, Deontay Turner in the backfield, and Marquise Davis on the right. And I mean, you just don't know who the ball's going to.
Another run up the middle. Again, Keontae Turner. And again, Turner with a big chunk of yards. This one going for about 8 before he's wrapped up. And this is where you start to get into dangerous territory. You see those first guys make their initial contact on the running backs like Turner, Gordon, Davis, and they're slipping through those. Those are the ones that you have to bring down. Another play, end around. Lakes to Gordon. Gordon makes a move on the inside, and it seemed like he had a speed boost there as the move slips right past the guy that looked to be an arm's reach away, but he just slips through for another 10, maybe 15 yards, and Gordon has the team all the way up to the 15-yard line.
It is hurry-up offense. I mean, with the plays they're running, there's no reason why they shouldn't run hurry-up.
Marquise Davis wrapped up at the ankles, still hasn't been brought down. Count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 defenders in on the tackle. Marquise Davis had one guy around his ankle the entire time, and multiple hits coming in, and they just bounce off of him.
I mean, that seems like what you need at this point. You need as many guys on him as you possibly can.
Might have the point of attack there. Go low, stop the legs from moving, and just hope you buy yourself some time for some teammates to come over. So that's about a loss of 6. Run to the outside again. Pitch made by Lakes. Outside Davis slips 2 tackles, and it takes another 4 Mustangs defender to bring him down as he gets his way up all the way to about the 10, give him the 9.5. And it'll set up 3rd and about 8. Lake's taken down in the backfield as well. Not sure if you caught that one, but after the pitch, wrestled down about 7 yards after, but both guys got up, were good. Lake's hand up off the middle. And wow, it is just running back by committee at this point. Kai Webb up inside the 5-yard line. They're just cycling through everyone they have possible to run the ball right now.
Right, they just have so much confidence in that run game. There's nothing stopping it right now, and you don't break you don't fix what's not broken.
It'd only be right to see a 5th runner on this drive to get positive yards. Maybe Amar Lakes runs the ball in for 6. But it is going to be a timeout. Score currently reads 20-0 in favor of the Tigers with 1:28 remaining in the first half. And they're knocking at the door once again and doing it without going to the passing game nearly at all.
Right, they haven't had to. And I don't think they've made a pass on this drive, actually, now that I think about it. And, they've just been running that hurry-up run offense. And I did see John Gordon after one of those runs in the backfield, running his fingers in a circular motion saying, like, coach, let's keep it going, like, fast, quick, because they know they've got the defense on their heels. And when you're in that position, like, you just feel like any run is going to go for 5, 10, 15 yards.
And talking about how many runners they had out there, I mean, you don't have to worry about your guys getting tired. It's not Marquise Davis, it's John Gordon Jr. If it's not Gordon Jr., throw it on to Keontae Turner. If it's not Keontae Turner, clearly you can give it off to Mekhi Webb. Where does it stop?
It doesn't stop is the answer to that one.
Turner, the man in the backfield now, inside the 5. Run goes up the middle to Turner, spinning out of a tackle, and then brought down right near the goal line. And they'll mark him down at the 1, it appears. Set up 4th, and calling it a yard might be generous.
Yeah, we might have to get the note card out for this one.
Flip it between maybe the goal line and where the ball was stopped.
Every inch was fought for on that run, and you just love to see how hard he fought for even just the 1 yard that he got.
And he'll actually drop the chain, set up a new set of downs. We have 4 tries to get a singular yard. Handoff to the outside, kept by Lakes. And there's a good start of keeping the Tigers out of the end zone. Flying in and making the tackle, Liam Lally. Big tackle by Lally, and it'll be a timeout being taken by head coach Max Stevens as the clock winds under a minute. Now he has to find a new way to get the 8 yards that are remaining.
Right, it seemed like a little miscommunication there. I'm not sure what was supposed to happen, but it looked like Amar Lakes was a little bit of a panic, not really knowing what to do after the fake handoff. Not to discredit that Mustangs defensive line, though. They got back there quick, and they were not giving up anything on that play.
Just seemed a little bit out of sorts, so you're right. After the handoff, it seemed like Lakes stopped and sort of said, oh, this wasn't the plan. Like, where do I go from here? Ends up with a big loss in the backfield. And now into an interesting situation. Mustangs just need to defend 8 yards of territory, and they have 54 seconds now to do so. 2 timeouts remaining on the side of Cleveland Heights. So they have time to stop the clock. That won't be the issue.
Yeah, they're going to set up in the same offensive formation that they've been running this whole drive.
Gordon motions out, end around, handoff, Davis trying to bring him down, and he just drags the defender into the end zone and give him a 3rd touchdown. Marquise Davis on the 8-yard carry. And it'll make this game 26-0 in favor of the Tigers.
Yeah, when in doubt, you got Davis right there. He's going to come off the right side, cut up field, and, like we said, it takes multiple defenders to tackle this guy. And, they had multiple guys there, but they weren't able to bring him down before he got those extra 4 yards to fall into the end zone.
J.J. Pleasant was in there and was able to wrap up the leg, but you just see the strength out of Marquise Davis just to keep those legs churning as McKay's kick is up and through. And it's 27-0 now in favor of the Tigers. But returning to Marquise Davis, again, those legs just keep moving. Pleasant just not able to stop. And we talked about it, had the right idea, right? Go for the legs of Davis, slow him down until you can get a teammate there. Davis just kept moving forward, and the teammates did not come fast enough, and he powers his way into the end zone.
Right, and you have to think, 8 yards on a Marquise Davis run, like you're not mad about that. The only part was the end zone was 8 yards away. So a little bit unfortunate there for the Mustangs, but yeah, Marquise Davis, that's 4 touchdowns for him now.
I mean, he's responsible solely for 18 points in this game out of the 27 scored so far for the Tigers.
Seems like they're just a magnet in the end zone for him. He just finds it every time.
Craziest thing about it, we're still in the first half. Davis has plenty of time to keep running.
Yeah, what's the Ohio single game scoring touchdown record for a single player?
I might have to do some research during the half to get back to you on that one. But kickoff return now here for Strongsville. Finds some space in the middle. McKay to beat, slips through the tackle nearly up to the 50. Finally coming in and making the stop appeared to be Keontae Turner, but not until Strongsville will start half the field to go on this drive. With only 38 seconds remaining, that's right where you want to be. Was about to bring up the question, if you're Strongsville, are you just okay taking this one into the half and trying to make some halftime adjustments to bring this game back? But throw that out the window. You got to go for points now.
Right, if you get any sort of points here, you're happy for Strongsville. There's any type of momentum, any type of hope going into that second half, going into the locker room after this drive right here. We'll see what they can put together. We expect a full passing offense with 38 seconds left on the clock. Can't waste any time.
Dropping back, throwing. Patel has a man catch, unable to be made. Again, a pretty good ball there from Patel, but sort of an in-between decision. Jumped and really didn't have to go for the high point as the ball ended up a little bit lower near the chest. And solid coverage downfield to make that one fall incomplete. Intended receiver appeared to be Espe.
Right, it seems like they are right there every time. Wow. Yeah, had that right in the hands. We did have that safety from the Tigers come over and kind of intimidate the wide receiver at that point of catching the ball.
Patel back again. Same play down the sideline. This time floats it just a bit too far. Dasher unable to catch up with it. 2 quick plays, still 25 seconds on the clock, but it'll be 3rd and 10 now for Strongsville.
Yeah, Dasher has been that guy so far. I know he's had at least 3 or 4 catches. He's broken away on 2 of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to him here. It looks like they are just taking shots, looking for anything to connect.
Strongsville going to take their time getting to the line. Get the setup that they want. There'll be 3 receivers towards the top. Dasher, the lone receiver, at the bottom. And it'll be a handoff up the middle. Belvin, nowhere to go, breaking through and making the tackle. Coming in is Makai Webb in the backfield. 20 seconds remain. Appears to be a timeout being used. And it's by Cleveland Heights.
Maybe they try to put some more points up on the board here. I couldn't think of another reason why they call a timeout.
And I'll tell you what, the way John Gordon Jr. has been running on punt returns, why not try to let him go free, bring some pressure, see if you get a blocked punt. No reason to let the half run out when you're up. I mean, you're up 27-0, but trying to put this game away as early as possible if you're the Tigers.
Exactly. And the Mustangs will come out to punt here. I'm already excited to see what John Gordon's going to do with this.
Punts back, whistles blow. Don't see any laundry on the turf right now. So it wasn't a false start, nothing of that nature, and the ball will just be reset. Maybe a couple yards ahead of where it was before.
20 seconds.
Yeah, it just seemed like one of the situations where it's like, oh wait, hold on, we're not ready yet. Let's pause, go back. Here we go.
Appreciate you guys trying to get us home early, but not quite yet. Still have another half of football to play, and John Gordon Jr., we're going to make sure that this punt goes as far as possible with those extra 2 yards. Spiraling kick outside. Matt might have taken your advice and just said, okay, we've seen enough out of Gordon, and that's enough as a bit of a scrum breaks out towards the middle of the field. Amir Atkins in the middle of that one. Flags fly. Brandon Caesar trying to break things up and calm both sides.
Yeah, I saw a couple flags fly. I'm not sure what started it here, but there did seem to be some tension right after that kick, right after that punt.
Coming off the field is Austin Miller. He seemed to be down on the play all the way on the other side. Not sure if that had anything to do with it whatsoever.
Right, he did. He also was the player earlier on at the beginning of the game that was limping off. Can't tell if that was ongoing from earlier in the game and he came back in and re-injured something, or if this is something new.
Keep in mind, we're talking high school athletics, so unsportsmanlike penalties more than likely possible to end in an ejection, as all the refs will convene. Didn't see what happened at all. I was happy with the punt going out of bounds. A good adjustment made from Strongsville there. Make the adjustment, not let John Gordon Jr. run, and next thing you know, whistles are blowing all over the place, and with 12 seconds left before the half, we have a bit of delay.
Right, the camera also was on on that punt. So I out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone like kind of fall backwards. I was a little confused as to what was going on until I saw everyone kind of congregating over there.
All things considered, it remained pretty timid. There wasn't anything going any wild. Everybody kept their hands down to their sides for the most part and dropped back. Things were broken up quickly, and you're talking about high school athletes of a competitive edge.
Right.
Attempting to win a football game. These guys are out there playing with chips on their shoulders.
Yeah, can't blame for being competitive, and luckily it didn't heighten into anything that looked like was unsportsmanlike conduct. We'll see what the refs say, as it looks like they're about to make a call.
After a long meeting, go down and hear what they have.
During the kick, we had a hold on the receiving team. After the kick, dead ball, personal foul on the kicking team. We'll assess 10 yards for the hold and then 15 yards for the personal foul.
So it looks like just one personal foul coming out after the play. It'll go on just Strongsville. And there was also a hold that was called during the play, so if you missed that call, 10 yards back for Cleveland Heights and then 15 yards forward. So doing some quick math, you net 5 yards forward, and that's where Cleveland Heights will start their drive with 12 seconds remaining. Probably don't expect to see very much here.
No, we expect to knee it out and go to the locker room. I mean, up 27-0. You're happy. You're feeling good. Your game's kind of been firing on all cylinders so far.
Yeah, no need to go and make an unnecessary play that could be flying back the other way and give any momentum coming back for the Mustangs. Probably be happy to take this one out, as you said. Formality, have to go 10 yards back, then 15 yards forward. So the drive will officially start on the 25-yard line. So looks like just some conversation in the backfield being had between the teams, referees there alike.
You do like to see that, a little handshake between the players from the opposite teams, almost like a little makeup. You had a little fight. It's like a fight with your siblings. You afterwards, your parents are like, okay, y'all need to make up now. No, so there's no tension. Everyone feels good afterwards, and you can resume back to the game.
There we see it. Amara Lakes will take the knee, and it'll send it into the half with the Tigers on top, 27-0 over the Strongsville Mustangs. There's nothing more to talk about here at this point, I feel like, other than Marquise Davis, John Gordon Jr., and some very good defense being played out of the Tigers.
Yes, I completely agree. They haven't even really had to pass the ball because of how good those two guys have been. And, I mean, John Gordon on those punt returns also. It seems like every time he touches the ball, he's electric. Marquise Davis has found the end zone 4 times. That run game has just been so good with those both running backs back in that backfield. A lot of misdirection. They keep finding a way to get it done. And then like you said, that defensive line from Cleveland Heights, just shutting down the middle to where the Strongsville has not been able to get anything going on the run game.
No doubt about it. They'll be looking to do more of the same in the second half. Again, Cleveland Heights up 27-0. We'll pause for a break for the half and let you enjoy the halftime festivities here on CHUH Schools YouTube channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Strongsville, the 2023 Strongsville High School Marching Mustangs. The band is led across the field by drum major Peyton Swagger. This year's halftime show features the Latin stylings of Chuck Mangione. We begin tonight's show with selections from Feel So Good and Children of Sanchez. Despacito was released in 2017 by Luis Fonsi, featuring Puerto Rican singer Daddy Yankee. Despite meaning slowly, this upbeat musical selection combines Latin music style with urban rhythms. Featuring our color guard, we hope you enjoy Despacito. Land of Make Believe was released in 1973 on the album of the same name. featuring senior soloists Josh Hawk on trumpet, Sedona Check on saxophone, and Grace Hollingsworth from our color guard. We hope you enjoy Land of Make Believe. Marching Mustangs are under the direction of Mr. Brian King, along with Assistant Directors Brandon Tyson and Ms. Mary Gallo, Drumline Instructor Michael Duncanville, Color Guard Coach Victoria Maloney. The Strongsville High School Marching Mustangs wish good luck to the Cleveland Heights Marching Band and continued success the rest of the season. And thank you for being such a great audience.
Heights High School proudly presents the Heights Tiger Marching Band. Our 2023 production is entitled All Around Town. Put on your funkiest threads as we jam to Macklemore, riding our mopeds down to the road while going downtown. Worldwide. The band is bringing this pitiful hit back. Fireball. Now that we've gone downtown and brought it back, let's come uptown to Heights, where the band will uptown funk you up with their playing and dancing. Congratulations to the High-Side Marching Band. Thank you to the Strongsville Mustangs for your Marching Band for your great performance as well. The Instrumental Music Department would like to thank you for your support. And as always, a special thank you to the Athletic Department, the custodial staff, the security staff, and the administration for their support.
Tiger Nation, we would now like to announce the winners of the homecoming call. Get those cell phones ready. Up first, Our Lady Kennedy Blue. Our 10th grade Duke and Duchess, Chelsea Gibson and Jalen Putnam. Up next, our Prince and Princess, Mitchell Reinhardt and Kiana Jackson. And now, it's time to introduce your homecoming king. Your homecoming king for 2023, Christopher Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to announce the 2023 Homecoming Queen. homecoming queen is Amelia! Make some noise one more time for your 2023 homecoming court. Tiger Nation, you showed up for homecoming parade. More than 1,000 marchers walked more than a mile and showed Tiger spirit the whole way. We want to give a congratulations to Fairfax Elementary School for winning Best of Parade. And winning second place is the Transportation Department. Again, we appreciate your support of the homecoming parade today. Great job, Tigers. All right. This next announcement is for all my people who like money, including me. It is time to announce our 50-50 raffle ticket winner. So get those tickets ready. Again, we appreciate your support. Half the proceeds go to our marching band. It helps them with their food, travel, and their uniforms. So again, everyone who participated, we thank you very much. The grand prize for tonight's 50-50 raffle is $591. That can buy you a whole lot of Tiger dogs. All right, Tiger Nation. The winning ticket color is red. I'm just kidding, they all gold, I'm just teasing Tiger Nation. That's a little 50-50 joke. The winning ticket color is gold. The winning ticket number 817-292. 817-292 is the winning ticket number. If that is your ticket, bring your ticket up to the press box to claim your prize of $591. One half down, one to go, football fans. Let's play some football. That kick was by the big boot, Gabe McKay. First and 10 for the Mustangs.
Second half now underway. Jake Volnick alongside Matthew Walker. Cleveland Heights leading 27-0 here for the second half. Patel drops back, throws to the outside, has a man open along the outside. John Gordon Jr. coming up and making the open field tackle on Will Dasher. It'll go down for about a 4-yard gain. That first half, all Cleveland Heights. Strongsville offense really didn't get anything going almost at any point. They were able to get one red zone drive going where they got up to the 20. It was a 50-50 ball in the end zone, but came down in a turnover in favor of the Tigers. Now Patel waiting. Snap second down. Hand off to the outside. Belvin. Belvin fights back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe give him a yard. That should set up about 3rd and 6.
Now, if you're Strongsville here, you don't necessarily need to rush each individual drive, but you do know you need to put some points up on the board. There is a lot of time, like the third quarter is starting, so you do have time with each individual drive. So you don't need to feel like you're rushing too much here. I expect them to keep those very short passes going. The running game, maybe they can get it going, but I expect them to keep those very short passes going.
Xavier Belvin has been doing it all for Strongsville, but just has not had it. Now see a loft ball outside, just beyond the hands of Jeremy Knopf.
The Mustangs number 9.
That ball was a touch bit lighter coming out from Patel, and you're looking at a massive, nearly 30-yard gain coming out for Strongsville.
I mean, that was the theme of the first half for Strongsville, too. It just seemed like they were one step off. It seemed like it was fingertips every time on those deep balls. And those are the big explosive plays they need. They just can never connect on them.
Line drive punt. John Gordon Jr. will get another chance, looking to break to the outside. He cuts inside twice, and he's met out past the 50, making the tackle Gavin Kern. And it'll be about a half field to go for the Tigers. Matt, we brought up before the half the single-game touchdown record in Ohio high school football.
We did.
Talk about Marquise Davis maybe able to be there. I'm sure everybody at home is sitting there screaming the correct answer out. And, of course, that's 12 touchdowns coming out from Erastus Tunk Simmons. That one, October 5th, 1923. Everybody's seen that game.
Right, that's just ignorant of us to forget that 1923 game. That's just one that will always be down in history.
Run up the middle. John Gordon Jr. laying out a block, and Keontae Turner breaks it up to just past the 35, make it the 34 for a first down. In all seriousness, the game that anybody might remember, 10 total touchdowns, 9 rushing touchdowns come out from Cliff Miller. That's Tiffin Columbian versus Shelby, a game in overtime in 2014. But yeah, 12 total touchdowns is the record, 9 rushing. Love me some Marquise Davis, but I don't think he's getting there today.
Hey, we'll see. He had 4 in the first half. This run game was not slowing down at all.
Amar Lakes airs it out, middle of the end zone. Should have been a pick for Strongsville and did not come up with it. Back of the end zone, that ball was underthrown by Amar Lakes and just did not come out. Looked to be Boogie Griffin, the one who dropped it.
Right, if you're Griffin, you want that one back, even though that would put you at a touchback at the 25-yard line.
And you see it right there. Griffin hit him dead in the hands, just was unable to reel it in. That's when he wants back.
Right, any sort of turnover just to get the ball back in your offense's hands to give you a chance in this game.
Flags go out, plays blown dead. And it looks like it's going to be an offsides, an encroachment coming across.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense. 5-yard penalty.
I mean, that's
second
what happens
down.
when you're on defense and the offense does such a good run. You just, you need that extra step. You feel like, okay, this run game, we can't stop it. We just got to get an extra step. We got to get an early jump on this ball. Especially, I mean, Cleveland Heights is right back in this 3-back formation, and this is so much misdirection. It's so hard to read what's going to happen from the defensive perspective.
Handoff goes up the middle again. Appeared to be Turner one more time. He's brought down at about the 28. That'll set up now 3rd down. But I'd love to know what this formation is called, by the way. I'm about to give it a name. I'm going to call it the Flying V.
I'm all for that.
You see the V formation from the running backs, but I might have to do a little bit of research and find the actual name if this is, I'm sure, somewhere deep in the internet.
Right, it has to be. I mean, it's just there's so many options from the running perspective.
Lakes breaks to the outside, stumbles his way up to the 24, 1st down. And you saw Lakes there putting on a bit of a move, able to make the first defender miss, and then pushes it for the 1st down, and Cleveland Heights once again into the red zone.
Right, we were waiting for that Amara Lake design play right there. I mean, we see Davis, we see Gordon, we see Becton, and here he is getting some lead blockers from his running backs, takes off. We see all his shiftiness when he gets pressured in the backfield in the pocket, and we were waiting for that run, and there it was.
Lakes goes with the hard count. Nobody on Strongsville jumping off sides, so he'll take his play call, and now he's ready to go. 8:45 remaining in the 3rd quarter, 27-0 lead. Lakes breaks the ball, takes it himself, outside, slips a tackler into the end zone for a touchdown for Cleveland Heights. Talk about the man and how he moves, and he'll show you once more, make it 33-0 for the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, right when you're scared of Marquise Davis, right when you're scared of Don Gordon, here he comes, fake handoff, everyone converges on the middle, breaks outside, breaks a tackle, gets himself right into the end zone. That's a great run from Amara Lakes right there.
You love to see that option play. He just rips it away, keeps it himself, and then gets it done with his legs. He doesn't get to show off his arm all that much, although pretty talented when he does. And right there you see why this team doesn't throw the ball very often. It's because they have so many effective runners, as Gabe McKay's extra point goes up and through and makes the score 34-0 in favor of Cleveland Heights with 7:58 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, now, I mean, if you're Strongsville here, like, you're just focused on this drive, right? Nothing else matters. Let's get this drive. Let's run our plays that we know we can run. Let's see if we can put some points up on the board. You know, one drive, one play at a time. It's not impossible. You know, it's happened before. It's not. It doesn't happen often.
Doesn't happen often. It's a tough hill to climb right now. You're looking at a very, very steep mountain to get up, but if you're the Mustangs, keep trotting, because where there's a will, there's a way. It's just going to be an absolute battle, and he needs to start with his offensive possession. Gabe McKay lining up for the kickoff. Swings his leg, and it's off. And that one will go through the back of the end zone for a touchback, and the Mustangs will start their drive looking for Harsh Patel to get anything going. Really, it's hard to put a finger right on where Patel is in terms of performance this game, because if you looked at the stats and strictly by the numbers, it would probably look pretty poor. But if you go off of the eye test, he's made some pretty good throws that his receivers haven't come down with, and every throw that he's missing is just off the mark.
Right, and add that extra layer of this Cleveland Heights defensive line getting to him seemingly every play.
Handoff up the middle. Belvin finally breaking loose out across the 40, and he's dragged down on the play by Marquise Davis. But finally, you see Xavier Belvin break loose and actually put his mark onto this game. It's been so quiet so far, but the Mustangs now with a good start to their drive thanks to that Belvin run.
Right, we're waiting for that all game. Look at this Marquise Davis, look how quick he is, just gaining steps on him. But yeah, I mean, we were waiting for Belvin to break off. That's how good of a running back he is. We knew it was going to happen eventually.
Sort of breaks up those big plays as flags fly. Some movement on the far sideline.
Dead ball.
Is going to be Jeremy Knopf
Offense.
On the false start.
5-yard penalty. First down.
Back up the Mustangs by 5 yards. 1st and 15. With just over 6 minutes to go here in the 3rd, as Cleveland Heights leads 34-0.
That does hurt a little bit. You finally break off a run. It basically seemed like the first one of the game, and then you take off 5 yards just from a little mistake there pre-snap.
Well, they'll look to run again. Belvin tries to break it to the outside, but he's met by a pair of Tigers and wrapped up, taken to the ground. Marquise Davis in again on that tackle. And And that play looks like it'll go for a very, very short loss. Other player in on the tackle, Makai Webb. The combination brings Belvin down to the ground and sets up another 2nd and long. And here's where if you're Strongsville, you have to look for that climb. You have to be able to get a chunk of these yards back here on this play. Patel looks outside. Nothing doing there as the pressure was right in his face, and a long 3rd down coming up.
Right, the Tigers are just playing that one-man back on safety and then just man coverage all on the outside. And then it seems like they can just bring the house almost every play. Like they're just having their way. They get pressure on the quarterback every play. It seems like Patel just does not have any time back there to let the play kind of develop.
And you can do that when your corners, who are then stuck in man, are not allowing any separation for those quick throws. Patel again looks to the outside, makes the completion. Davis going to be slipped as a tackler, but able to hold on to that back leg, and he gets some reinforcements coming in on the defensive end. As helping out with that tackle, Josiah Jones in there, but that'll set up 4th down. Unable to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Set up 4th and about 14 as the punt's away. Another line drive. John Gordon Jr. going to get an opportunity. Works towards the middle of the field, now the outside. Gordon Jr. trying to beat the edge. A good block on the outside. That one's going to be coming back as Gordon Jr. breaking loose, past the punter on the outside, pass down to the 20. But that's just not going to work out. A block towards your own end zone.
Wow, it
you like
looked
the thought process there. You do. You like setting the edge, but...
Right, it did seem like it was almost on the line if it was blocking the back or not. It does look like they're going to bring that one back. But, I mean, even though this one doesn't count, just seeing John Gordon that explode, it looks effortless when he runs. I mean, those cuts that he makes, it just... When you look at him and you see how fast he's moving, it doesn't look like his form doesn't make him look like he's moving that fast, but he's just at that blazing speed. Makes it look so easy.
No, really at the start of his runs, it's a sort of nonchalant. He just takes it, I don't want to call it a jog because he's moving very quickly, but that's where he kind of starts up, and you see him start to work towards the open side of the field, makes a couple of cuts towards the middle. Those first guys miss until he can kind of wheel his way around to the outside, and then it's just off to the races, beat whoever he can.
Right, you can just feel the confidence that he has when he feels like he can just wait for everything to come to him, and then he can make those decisions. He doesn't feel like he has to rush anything. He can just kind of let everything develop and then like trust his speed, trust his agility, and I mean he makes something happen. Like in those punts, I mean there's just so much open field for him to work with. He just makes something happen every time. I'd be curious as to his average yards per like punt, like his average return yards.
It would be an interesting stat, especially today, more than anything. There's a long conversation going on, by the way, between the officials right now. 2 flags down on the field. We saw the one right in front of us, sort of that crackback block, blocking towards your own end zone. Not sure if that conversation being had is another penalty on the other side of the field and what may happen. At least for now, it seems like a call is coming here quickly.
To the new student section.
We had 3 fouls on the play. During the return, holding on the return team, that penalty is declined. Personal foul on the return team, that penalty will be declined. And then we had a personal foul, blindside block on the return team. 15 yards from the spot, 1st down.
Wow, okay, so there's a laundry list of things they had to sort out. You see now why now it took so long. 3 flags come in on the play, all against the Tigers. The only one that's going to go and be accepted there is the one that we saw blatantly right in front of us, that blindside block. So that'll start just inside the 30 for Cleveland Heights. John Gordon Jr. said that return wasn't enough. Let me try again. And he works his way up to about the 34 on that carry, give him 5 yards, set up a 2nd and 5.
Right. Also, something interesting to note here is that Amir Atkins is in at quarterback right now. They did make that quarterback swap. I'm curious to see if they run the same types of plays, if they switch it up, like what they kind of have designed here for Atkins.
Another run to the outside. brought down just inside the 40. Depends on the spot whether or not that'll be a first down. Right on the sticks. With the Tigers up 34-0, by the way, clock is running rapidly. No stoppage right now, all the way down to 3:20 here in the third quarter as they lead 34-0.
Right, short third down here.
Amir Atkins, as you mentioned, the backup quarterback, hand up the middle, and a hard tackle, spun down John Gordon Jr. Strongsville playing with a little bit of momentum now. The big swing comes in and is able to make the tackle, but after the first down. So the drive keeps on rolling for Cleveland Heights.
Right, they do get that first down here. It does look like they're running a little bit of a different formation here, running a lot of shotgun, one running back in the backfield and a couple out wide. Just as I say that, they are running, looks like 10 across the line here. A little interesting formation.
A little bit of motion. Atkins to the outside. Remember, he's a wide receiver. Off to the races. Past the 50, the 40, and he runs out of bounds to avoid a hit right near the 35-yard line of the Mustangs. 10 guys on the line, one in motion, and the quarterback keeps it the whole way. Amir Atkins displaying the legs.
Yeah, I love that play call. You bring everyone inside by having everyone on the line. It opens up the outside right there, and Amir Atkins can just take off. Finds a little bit of daylight on the outside for about a 20-yard run. And you can see that speed right when he gets on the outside.
Again, a reminder that we're in running clock here as the Tigers lead 34-0 over the Mustangs. About 1:45 remaining in the third quarter. Drop back, Amar Lake's back at quarterback. Tossed over the middle, caught, and the ball slips loose, recovered by the Mustangs. And that time, going to be Jeffrey Ward who brings in the catch and then coughs it up in the red zone over to the Mustangs.
Well, you can see a good route right here, a lot of separation. It's just he fumbles that ball a little bit after breaking that first tackle, and when that second guy comes in, the ball breaks loose. Strongsville comes up with it. It doesn't seem like there have been a lot of passes, obviously, from Cleveland Heights with how well that run game has been going. It seems like they can, if they want to, pass the ball, as was seen right there. Just a little bit unfortunate with the ball coming loose.
Yeah, Eric Bly going to be the defensive back, the junior, prying that one loose from the hands of Ward. Now a run up the middle and dragged back down just past the 10-yard line. Talk about the strength being on display. That was a heck of a power move by Jaquan Stubbs to bring down the back.
Yeah, the story of that defensive line continues on from the first half. They were just dominating that line of scrimmage, and it doesn't seem like they're giving it up anytime soon.
It'll set up about 2nd and 9. They gave him a gain of 1 on the play. Patel in the backfield. Takes the snap, looks to the outside, looks for one deep, and maybe some miscommunication between Patel and Knopf there, because Knopf was running down the sideline and the throw looked more so waiting for him to come back.
Right. I mean, that those linebackers got in there so quickly. As you can see the blitz coming in right here. He just had no time. I mean, they didn't have enough time for that play to develop right there.
Yeah, Knopf might have started to begin that cutback as you saw it on the replay, but no real option for Patel. The pressure was there, had to let the ball go. And now 10 seconds remaining. Strongsville, do they opt to run a play here in the third quarter? Again, trailing 34-0. Time winding, and the play will be off. Patel rolls out to the right and throws up over the head of his intended receiver, unable.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Again, pressure right in his face. And that'll set up 4th and long, but it'll also set us up for the end of the third quarter. The Tigers leading the Mustangs 34-0. It's a running clock situation here in Cleveland Heights, Ohio.
Right, and I mean, Cleveland Heights, their plan is to run this timeout. Right, they have full control over this game. The running game has been working all day long. I don't expect anything different in this fourth quarter.
No, and you saw some different looks already coming out. Offensively, you didn't see much out of Marquise Davis on that last drive. It was a lot more John Gordon Jr. You saw Amir Atkins take over the play calling for 2-3 plays there before Amar Lakes eventually came back in. But that was a quick third quarter compared to what we were used to in those first two. That one, you blink and you miss it.
Right. I mean, yeah. In the first half, there were some flags here and there that stopped the clock. There were a lot of scoring opportunities. Yeah. This second half, it just seemed like every play was a run play, milking the time, taking a lot of the play clock up before you run the next play. I mean, yeah. Here we go. Fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter, ready to begin. And backed up into his own end zone, preparing to punt for Strongsville will be Austin Adkins. Adkins takes the punt outside. No height on that one. Bounces at about the 30. John Gordon Jr. says, sure, I'll pick it up anyway. Works towards the middle, now towards the far side of the field. Has space on the outside, breaks loose all the way up to the 10 before he's finally brought down at the 5-yard line. Gotta stop letting that guy take returns. Might be a sliver of hope coming out for Strongsville, though, as a flag sits just inside of their 40-yard line.
You know, I want to say that might be the fourth time on a punt return that there has been a flag on a good John Gordon return. I mean, like you're saying, like he's just so explosive.
During the return, personal foul, blindside block, returning team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Blindside block coming out with back-to-back returns in a row. Right there, just being drawn back and eliminating a great return by John Gordon Jr. If I had to take a guess, head coach Max Stevens through practice this week is probably going to be running some special teams work, because you're letting their guy get some very, very effective returns, but really negating those. And sure, here today that might not matter where you're up 34-0, but come later in the weeks, come playoff time, that could be the big difference in a game.
Oh, exactly. I'm still surprised that Strongsville is electing to give him the chance to return those. It just seems like he gets, right, like 20, 30 yards every return.
You saw at the end of the first half, they punted out of bounds. Liked the adjustment, but haven't seen that again. But, I mean, really, how poorly is it working out for him right now? Because it seems like there's a penalty to back up the Tigers every single time that you let them return now. But now on offense, snap, back, quarterback power up the middle for a short gain. And that looked to be a Wildcat formation that had Amir Atkins back in at quarterback, actually just running the backup duties, and he gets a gain of 2.
Right, it does seem like they are running these a lot of different plays with him out there. They have him in the shotgun most of the time.
Saw Amar Lakes kind of get up a little bit slow earlier in the game. Now, I'm sure this isn't an injury concern as Atkins breaks it up over the middle into the secondary, makes another man miss, one guy to beat, and he's dragged down from behind, but at the 15-yard line, a big run coming out for Amir Atkins.
Wow, he was explosive through that hole. Found a couple broken tackles. Look at the hole that was in the middle here. Breaks one tackle, makes a couple other guys miss, and he barely gets taken down at the end. You can see him get up like he wanted that one. He wanted that one bad, and that's great to see from the backup quarterback here. I mean, you got to credit the offensive line there too. I mean, there was a little misdirection with the fake handoff, but that offensive line just like parted the Red Sea right up the middle there.
Yeah, perfect opening. That was 3-4 linemen wide. Atkins keeping it again, bounces it inside and taken down right around the 12-yard line, give him the 11. Now 10 minutes remaining. Again, 34-0, Tigers on top. Atkins taking his play calls from the sideline. Was mentioning earlier, Amar Lakes kind of went down, got up a little bit slow. I'm sure it's not an injury keeping him out at this point, more just precautionary. No need to get your quarterback hurt in the back end of a game that you know you're going to win. Amir Atkins, right side, bounces it out. Going to look for the outside, going for the pylon. One stiff arm, and then he's dropped as a low tackle coming in and being made by Elias Pettit as he falls off to the side. Atkins had one more guy to really have stop him once again. Second time in his drives, he gets inside the 5, but Pettit going to be slow to get up, and he's going to require some assistance out near that sideline.
Right, and Atkins just looks so good running the ball right now, making guys miss. Just looks so strong running the ball. Even without like Marquise Davis and John Gordon out there, it just seems like the running game is still working exactly how they have it drawn up.
We've seen the athleticism of Atkins. Just think back to last week. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the game-winning play goes to him on the outside where he finds the front pylon. Nearly thought he was going to get it there again in similar fashion, just from a different spot on the field. But nevertheless, Pettit comes up with the tackle, and Atkins was shut down. Clock stops with 9:10 remaining. Up under his own power, Pettit was able to walk off the field. That's a good sign.
Right, hopefully Pettit's okay here. I'd be surprised if he comes back in the game.
Yeah, no real need to risk anything at this point, winding down to 9 minutes. Atkins now under center. Motion in the backfield. Going up the middle, keeping it. Keontae Turner into the end zone. And we have a 40-point lead in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, as the Tigers go up by a score of 40-0 with 8:45 on the clock, and it's still rolling.
It is, and that's just a great run right there. Exactly how they drew it up. Gets touched one time and right in the end zone. I mean, this Cleveland Heights run offense just looks unstoppable right now.
I mentioned it before, and at risk of sounding like a broken record as Gabe McKay waits for the extra point, you got to give your props to the offensive line in this game. I mean, just for this team in general, as McKay's kick goes through, makes it 41-0. This offensive line opens holes all day long for these guys to run through. You give your props up to the backs because when those holes don't open up, they still make something out of nothing. But more often than not, there's openings for those guys to run through and then show their abilities.
Right, exactly. And I mean, there was maybe like one or two drives early on. Obviously, Cleveland Heights went up 14-0 within 4 minutes of the game. But there were a couple of drives that were Strongsville kind of looked like, okay, maybe they're getting some pressure, maybe they're breaking through that offensive line. But just when we started to question it, that offensive line, from there on out, second quarter on, they've just been unstoppable, opening up holes everywhere.
Yeah. Guys that don't normally get their name called, you'll give their name calling now. Rodney Harris, a clear exception to that because he's been getting it done on the defensive end of the ball. But Murdoch Jones, Jason Owens, Dylan Haddon, Abdou Dié, these guys have been putting in work today, and a big reason that there's a 41-point lead now with 8 minutes in the fourth quarter as we await the kickoff. McKay swings, and more of a squib, high bouncer, and probably a smart decision there just to drop down to the ground from Logan Brown. He saw a couple of Tigers running directly at him on very short distance, and he had no momentum. He said, no, this spot on the ground looks really nice, actually. I'll take it here. Please don't hurt me.
Yeah, it's a good idea there. I don't think anyone wanted to be in that situation.
If I was down there, I probably would have assumed the fetal position. But Brown, a little bit more respectable than myself.
Right, props to him for even, focusing on the ball first before.
Yeah, I probably would have just swung and hit it out of bounds, honestly. Everyone stay away. Handoff up the middle. Pyle met directly at the line of scrimmage. No whistles blowing yet. Really letting guys fight for their yards, but basically a gain of 1 at the end of the day. That run's shut down pretty easily on the side of Cleveland Heights. On the carry that time looked to be Alex Espe.
Right, with about 7 minutes left in this game, we'll see if Strongsville can lead a scoring drive here. They've had some promise all game. They've had some big plays connect. They just haven't been able to put a full drive together.
6:40 remaining, 41-0. Favor of the Tigers. Snap back to Patel, looks short, gets a good block on the outside. Ball tipped up and into the dirt, nearly taken away by the Tigers. Albert Green Jr. reaching in, trying to grab that ball right before it hit the ground, but connects with the turf and will set up third and about 9.
Yeah, that's that play that we've seen Strongsville connect on a couple times and break away for 10, 15 yards. just not able to make it happen on that one with a little bit of a low pass.
Another third down set up for Strongsville. Patel dropped back, looking for the route over the top, close sideline, unable to connect. And that ball was intended for Dylan Miller. And it'll set up fourth down, and punt unit will come back out onto the field for Strongsville. Really just an impressive display all around from the Tigers today. I mean, you put 41 up on the board, and then on the other side, you're going to hold the Mustangs to not a single score if they're able to bleed the running clock here with 5:30 remaining in this next drive.
Yeah, I mean, confidence is at an all-time high for the Tigers right now. Just firing on all cylinders. Oh, almost a block punt there also.
Might have gotten a piece of it as that gets off to the outside. It rolls its way towards the 30. Will be down to the 31 of Cleveland Heights.
I mean, if you're the Cleveland Heights coach, what are you saying going into, like, is there anything like, hey, is there anything like you're saying, oh, we need to work on this, we need to improve this? Like, after this game, there just seems to be no points of needing improvement.
I mean, best thing you can do, you're going to put your palms in the air and just go, wow, we got beat today. There's no way around that. But on the side of the Mustangs, you're probably looking at your offensive line. I mean, this is a tough defensive line to go up against. But you need to see better coverage. You got to get Patel more time in the weeks going forward. And on top of that, you just got to work with Patel on reeling in just those passes that are that close to being made. I mean, it is a foot, 2 feet at max on a lot of these throws that he's missing over the top. If he's able to reel those in, I'm not sure it flips the script in this ball game and makes it, you know, with the Mustangs on top, but it certainly gives them a better shot as the snap goes over the head of the quarterback and is downed inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, a little bit of a high snap there. Luckily, the quarterback was able to fall down on it, but not before it fell back about 10, 15 yards. Now, handling the quarterback duties for this final drive appears to be Asher Wilson, the 5'11 sophomore. 4:30 remaining. Handoff up the middle, fighting forward about 4 yards before being wrapped up and taken down. That time on the run, Marcellus Harris, the 5'9 junior. Wilson setting up for third and long. Just another hand up the middle. Nothing doing there. Strongsville able to work the tackle. And the carry on that one, Javier Kerr. Kerr, the 5'7 sophomore, didn't have much working for him. He was met by 4 or 5 Mustangs on the play. And what you thought could have been the last drive of the game, Mustangs are going to get back on a snap well over the head of Wilson. That had no problem ending it. You sit back and think, well, how could that have happened? It's a good question. Because normally Amar Lake's back there standing at 6 feet. Wilson not far under him at 5'11". That ball simply got sailed. Looks like it's going to be a timeout being used. So both teams will convene, but again, 41-0 here with 3:16 remaining on the clock. You begin to look ahead in both of these teams' schedules. For the sides of the Tigers, you're going to go to next Friday. You're going to be on the road taking on the Solon Comets. And again, Friday, September 29th, kickoff, normally scheduled time at 7 p.m. And then on the other side, when you're looking at it, Strongsville, who will move to 3-3 in this. Once this one's concluded, they'll be going back home to take on Medina, who entered today at 3-2 as well. Punt high, now rolling back. Hands team sort of asleep at the wheel there, not wanting to down it as it goes back towards their own end zone. And it is eventually down right around the Cleveland Heights 43. Just under 3 minutes to play. Offense getting ready to take the field, still with Patel at the helm. And here we go. I mean, we have
the entire, half the bench out onto the field for Cleveland Heights, still in their timeout, still talking with their players. Meanwhile, Strongsville was to the line ready to run a play. Coach Max Stevens looks up and sort of just is in confusion, shaking his head back and forth. He looks at the referees, walks over and calls a timeout. He said, no, I'm not done talking to my players yet. I'm not ready for this. I'll just burn another one. Hold on.
I was half convinced Strongsville was going to try to pull off a play right there with coaches still on the field talking to their players all huddled around.
Yeah, back of the huddle would have been Michael Middleton. He would have had to sprint about as fast as he could to the outside, see if he could stop anybody. Because if not, you're probably getting a decline for 34 players on the field and a touchdown for Strongsville, which would be their first score of the game. Would have been a heck of a way to do it. Run up the middle, about a gain of 3 as he's down at the 40-yard line. In on the carry, Jeremiah Petit.
Yeah, it's good.
35 remaining on the clock.
It's good to see a couple-yard gain right there. We'll see if they can pull through and score a couple points here.
Another handoff up the middle. It's Pettit again. That time just a gain of 1. And I'm not going to say you're looking at two teams giving up, but this is a team who's happy to walk out of here kind of where they're at. Just running the ball out as we close down towards 2 minutes and you're down 41. Yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
It does feel that way. Feels like there's nothing really on the line here. That some plays are kind of just being run to run the clock out.
The result of the game's not changing, no matter what you do on this problem. Enough out of his offense today, but as we say that, it's a pass down the sideline, looking for his receiver, and story of the day, there's Patel leaving one just a couple feet long. That one falls to the turf incomplete and sets up 4th down. Clock continues to run, again with the 41-point lead, down to 1:35. Intended receiver on the play was Dylan Miller.
Even with this backup Tigers defense in, they still are finding ways to get to the quarterback.
Did a good shot of the Mayfield band. Did their work at halftime. If you stuck around for that, you got to see, put on a good performance. Patel now taking the snap, looking deep again, middle of the field, has a man. And once again, you see it right on the fingertips, had him open, but unfortunately just a step too long for Alex Espay. And Espay was home free with the first score for the Mustangs if he catches that one.
Yeah, everything is perfectly drawn up here, and yeah, that's been the story of the game for them all day long. I mean, that has to be like 7 or 8 times that has happened. We're just off the fingertips or a step too far. They just have not been able to connect on any of those.
Yeah, frustrating day if you're a wide receiver for the Mustangs. Again, it hasn't been a bad look out of Patel. It's just been just off for him. And again, as a backup quarterback, not that you expect it, but you sort of get a little bit of a break.
Right, and you can't forget about the Tigers' pressure that's getting in that backfield. It seems like every single play. So he hasn't really had the time to get those clear open passes.
I just got a great text, by the way. I was looking at the green and white. Plenty of high schools around the area with the colors. I call them the Mayfield band. Disrespectful on my part. That's a Strongsville band, and they did a great job tonight.
They really did do a great job tonight. That was a great halftime show.
Run to the outside. Wrapped up, taken down, and on the carry that time, Jalen Gordon, the 5'7" sophomore. With time winding down, doesn't appear there's going to be another play to be ran. Under 10 seconds, looks like Cleveland Heights might be considering having to run one more. But shouldn't be the case, should be able to let the clock wind out. And that they will. 0-0 is on the clock, and the Cleveland Heights Tigers lock in a dominant 41-0 win over what was the 3-2 Strongsville Mustangs. They now drop to 3-3 as the Cleveland Heights High Tigers improve now to 5-1 and 3-0 in GCC play.
Right, that's just a very dominant win. You're walking out of this field tonight with just the utmost confidence walking into next week. We'll see if they can keep this up for the rest of the season. That run game was just absolutely dominant. Defense was on top of their game. There were just no points that that you can really like point out that that they struggled with?
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, it was pretty much dominant from start to finish. 2 quick drives to start the game. You said it was 14-0 before there were even 4 minutes off the clock in this one, and things just seem to continue to roll. Next week, again, on the road against Solon at 7 p.m. Solon so far on the season 1-5 and are winless at 0-3 in GCC play, as their game tonight was actually a victory, their first of the season. Excuse me, no, a loss. Last week was their first victory of the season against Mayfield, 14-13. Tonight was against Menor, a 42-0 loss. So Strongsville, Solon in similar spots between the two teams that played a week ago here today. And then on the other side, talking about a team that unable to keep it rolling, and that's going to be Strongsville. They move on and play. Moving forward, they're playing Medina, and Medina, a team that's very tough. They came in today 3-2. That's going to be a tough game for Strongsville, especially coming off a tough loss like this.
Right, there's just a lot of things to focus on in practice this week. They did have some points that they can highlight that, you know, they almost connected on those deep passes. They had a couple defensive drives that looked very promising. There were a couple highlights that they can look at, and you know, going into next week, we'll see if they can get that run game going again.
It's a high hopes coming in and high spirits coming out for Cleveland Heights, and then sort of a crust spirit coming in for Strongsville as they go back to the drawing board and look to draw it up again against Medina. But that's going to do it for us here today on the CHUH Schools YouTube channel. Jake Volnick alongside Matt Walker. Matt, thank you for joining me today, stepping in on short notice, so much appreciated as well.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone making this broadcast possible. It's much appreciated, and of course, thank you to all you guys, our listeners, our watchers, for staying with us through this game, through another Cleveland Heights High School win. That's it from us. Everybody, have a good Friday night.